Understand this and the money will follow. There is a gross misconception about money and people don't fully understand what it looks like. Movies and TV shows represent large amounts of money inconsistently, so some may think $1 million is not much, while others may think you need 2 suitcases to carry that amount. And while some might think that $1 billion is just a step up from $1 million, this is what $1 billion actually looks like. Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world and founder of Amazon, which currently employs 1.4 million people worldwide, has a net worth of $201.7 billion. Yet workers in Amazon's warehouses are paid as little as $18 an hour and have few human rights. An article in the New York Times revealed that Amazon has an incredible turnover rate, mistakes on their part cause workers to lose their jobs, and their aggressive monitoring system makes workers afraid to take breaks. So with harmful working conditions and less than fair compensation, why do people still work for companies like Amazon? Because the system is rigged. You buy a loaf of bread for $1.75. What does that money mean to you? What does it represent? Is it a piece of paper that you are now exchanging for a product? Or is it the time it took you to make that $75 that you are now exchanging for a loaf of bread? If you work 8 hours a day, you get paid for those 8 hours. But if you have to take 2 hours off because your child has to go to the doctor, you only get paid for 6 hours of work. If you need to buy a car, you now work extra hours to earn enough money to buy it. What are you exchanging for goods and services, time or money? This is the cycle you are in. The average hardworking American is in a financial trap that has him working 40 to 45 years before he can retire. So there would be a considerable amount of resentment on his part when he sees millionaire YouTube influencers and billionaire software developers living life on what he considers easy mode. And as much as we may vilify rich people and portray them as entitled, spoiled, and arrogant in our movies, the fact is that they have broken out of that cycle. And sure, there's a lot to be said about how billionaires should contribute to society and make a difference, but here's another truth. You're upset that you haven't figured out a way to break out of this cycle yourself. There is no war to be won by giving money any value other than monetary. Money is not discriminatory, and it is not the root of all evil. A 2019 CNBC article shows that nearly 68% of the world's richest people are self-made. This includes Oprah Winfrey, a black woman born into poverty who rose to become one of the highest-paid stars in the world. Starbucks founder Howard Schultz grew up in a public housing project. Forever 21 founder Do-Won Chang worked as a janitor and a barista when he moved to America from Korea. And it's safe to assume they all went through an education system that did them no favors when it came to teaching them about financial management. So what do all these people know that you don't? First, that there is a big difference between earning money and making money. And while these people make money, you work long hours and sacrifice your health, sleep, and time just to earn it. Our schools have taught us that we need money to survive. And to have money, we have to work. So the sole purpose of your education becomes getting a job. In every possible way, poverty is taught and passed on in schools. The education system does not teach you about money, how to make it, or how to be a boss, not a worker. The school system will never teach you about money. The school system was designed to teach you how to be an employee, which is important, or a doctor or a lawyer, a specialist, but never about money. Teach your children that success is not tied to education. Get an education because being stupid is not a good idea. But no matter how many degrees you get, no one promised you a rose garden. Schools don't teach you the value of taking a risk, taking a chance on yourself, or how to create a business out of doing what you're passionate about. The lack of autonomy and a grossly outdated curriculum only further traps the most ambitious in the same cycle of poverty. Any job that doesn't promise a steady paycheck is frowned upon, and you spend your life chasing money instead of making it work for you. Many people are addicted to that paycheck. They're so afraid to venture out on their own and not have the security of that paycheck. The rich know that you are trading your time for money, and when you do that, there is only so much money you can make in a day if you were paid by the hour. Even if you worked 24 hours a day for $18 an hour, you could never make more than $432 a day. Realistically, if you worked 40 hours a week at $18 an hour, it would take you 26 years to make $1 million. And that's without taking into account taxes, living expenses, and inflation, which would make your dollar less valuable. So what now? You understand the value of money and how you trade it for time, and you see the flawed education system. How does that help you, a normal working person living paycheck to paycheck? No, because poverty isn't just taught, it's enforced when you structure a hierarchy. You get winners and you get losers, and it can get really steep. So the winners take it all and the losers have nothing. The top 1% has more wealth than the bottom 90%, according to the National Center for Policy Analysis. Nearly 10 million families in America lost their homes during the housing crisis, resulting in the resegregation of neighborhoods. And who did the US government bail out with $700 billion? The banks. The average American family makes about $54,000, but the average household credit card debt is $16,000. Those with a mortgage over $176,000. Those with auto debt, $29,000. And those with student loans, over $50,000. Yet the United States will spend $725 billion on its military in 2020, the year a pandemic kills millions. The deck is stacked against you, you know that. But you can't avoid making money and taking out loans to live a decent life with a crippling amount of debt and no end in sight. You seek escapism in alcohol, fast food, and cigarettes, all of which will drive you to an early grave unless you add a few thousand to your medical bills. Healthcare consumes nearly 18% of America's GDP, or about $3.7 trillion. Because you don't know any better, you will pass this lifestyle on to your children. It looks like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Where can you go from here? How can you get out of this trap? The government will not help you, nor will any welfare fund. The first step is to educate yourself. That doesn't mean getting a bunch of degrees and going to a prestigious college, although that can help. It means educating yourself about how money works. Learn about the financial markets and how to invest and build a portfolio. I challenge anyone to do the following. Take 4 subjects: sales, negotiation, human nature, and money. Read every book that has over 400 reviews on Amazon, that's 4+ stars. Read those 4 subjects for 2 years. Work your ass off. Come back to me in 2 years. In fact, you won't even come back to me, because you've forgotten, because you're killing the market. The marketplace rewards people who outwork and outperform, it's proven. That doesn't mean you're going to be a millionaire in 2 years. What it does mean is that your market value is going up. Somebody may offer you something special in the next 2 years. The second step is self-care. This means maintaining good mental and physical health. The food you eat and your lifestyle have a direct impact on your motivation to work and your expenses. The worse you take care of yourself, the more medical bills you rack up. Step 3. Avoid getting into debt. You are now the cash cow for credit card companies, and once you get into debt, getting out is hell. Step 4. Find a side hustle. Keep the day job for a steady source of income and start something on your own that will bring in a little extra cash. Create a course, do some freelance graphic design, offer translation services, or teach English to kids. If your excuse is that you don't have time, take a break from binging Netflix and scrolling through your phone and dedicate 2 hours a day to this side hustle. Look at what you do in your free time, and people say, "I don't have free time." Well, yes, you do. When you break it out, how much do you watch TV? How much are you on your iPhone playing video games, doing things that are really not important? And take that time and put it into the business that you want to create. The goal is to scale it so that one day you can quit your day job and work for yourself and work as little as possible and still make more than enough to live a good life. Step 5. Keep learning. Education doesn't stop when you start working, and it's this misconception that keeps many people from growing. As you learn, you begin to outgrow your job and your circumstances, forcing you to look for bigger and better things. It won't be easy, but a few weeks of making the harder choices will change your thinking and allow you to leave the cycle and live the life you want. The poverty cycle is here to stay, and if you want to get out, it has to be your initiative. If you're ready to start the journey, hit the subscribe button for more educational and motivational content from our channel, and share this video with someone you think needs it. 5 years from now, you will be where you are because of the books you read and the people you meet. Thanks for watching.